Hi, Tim Unkert here, and in this tutorial that's going to be broken apart into a few different sections, we are going to make this website. So I made this as a landing page for one of the domains I own. It's not yet up on Algebra Superstar. You'll see a very old one up there, but it is something that I may use as the landing page. So you'll see there's a top menu here. And then we've got this like hero section here. We've got 4 different skills here, a couple testimonials here, and then a call to action. We're going to enroll, and then down here you'll see there's a little footer. Okay, and so I built this last night using Bootstrap 5. So we're going to go through this project and we're going to break it apart into sections. And we're going to start with the Navbar, go to the hero section, and then we'll go to the skills, testimonials, and then the call to action, and probably include the footer with the call to action because the footer's not that complicated. This design, you may be looking, hey, that looks kind of familiar. I based it off of the VS Code homepage. Let's pull that up. So I kind of tried to make it look somewhat like this page. Now it's a little different. They have a fixed nav bar. We do not on this one. But, you know, it was kind of inspired by that. So just in case you're wondering. The source code to this I'll include on my GitHub, and I'll link that in the description below. And also for this, I'll be using a text editor called Vim, and I'll leave a link to my vimrc below in case anyone is interested. For more people caring about the tech, I'm using just a very cheap Chromebook to do this video on. It's a Chromebook Acer 311 that I bought at Walmart for $179 with tax. And then I actually built this on another Chromebook I have that's very cheap. It only has 2 gigabytes of RAM, and I have that screen set up so I can go through it just as a reference. Okay, let's get started. So I'm going to put this down, and we're going to do this from the terminal. So I have a terminal open on Chromebook. You can install a Linux beta. You go to the Linux beta in the developers and just click turn on, and it installs Debian Buster 10 Linux distribution. So from there, you'll get this terminal here. I installed another terminal called Terminator, which I like a little bit better. Both work fine. So then we can go from the command line. So I'm changing directory into a folder I made called websites. I have a few websites here, a starter HTML here. I'm going to make a directory, just type mkdir algebra Superstar. Okay, and then I'm going to change into that directory. So cd algebra superstar. Okay. All right. From here, I am going to create a few different files. So to do that, I'm going to type touch and then index.html is one we want to have. We do want to have a style.css, even though we're using the Bootstrap 5 CSS framework. We are going to add a few little CSS things in there. And then I'm going to include a script.js, even though I didn't use it at all. But you may want to put some of your own custom JavaScript in there. So I'll include that. So I'm going to hit enter, and those 3 files are created. Now with Vim, I'm going to open my index.html file. Okay. So you'll see it's open. I can hit, with my vimrc, I can hit Control B and open up Toggle Nerd Tree, which is a plugin for Vim. And then that lets me go up and select between the files. So that's nice. Now with my Vim setup, I have Emmet installed. So that's going to just help me with a framework. So I'm going to hit I to insert, and then exclamation mark, and then to trigger Emmet in Vim, you do Control Y, comma. Okay, and that gives me a basic framework. Okay, so I have this one meta tag that basic framework comes with. It is the character set, which is UTF-8, which you always want to have, so certain symbols will render properly. Okay, so I'm going to just go into normal mode, and I have my vimrc set up so I can mash J and K together, and it doesn't matter. I have JK and KJ, so that I just mash those together, and they go into normal mode. Now I can hit Control A, and that puts me back in insert mode, but at the end of the line. I like to do that. That jumps me to the end of the line real quick in insert mode. Now I want another meta tag. This is important, so I'm going to type meta and then colon VP, and then hit Control Y and comma. That didn't work. Control Y, comma, and that's going to give me a viewport tag. You want to have width equals device width and initial scale equals 1.0. This other stuff is also nice, but those two things you want to at least have in your viewport tag. Another thing you probably should add for a meta tag is a description for the search engines. So let's just do that. So I'm going to hit meta colon DSC, Control Y, comma, and then I can put in a brief description, and I'll write something like, help your student become an algebra superstar. Something like that. Okay, and we want to put in the title, so I'm just going to type home for algebrasuperstar.com. Okay, all right, so we also want to include the Bootstrap CDN. And I like to comment things. The way I'm going to be commenting things in this file is I am going to be typing the comment out. So let's say I'm going to type Bootstrap 5 CSS because I'm going to put it right below this. And then I'm going to mash my J and K. That's going to put me in normal mode. And then I have a commentary plugin for Vim, which is GCC, and that comments the line for me. Okay, now Control A to get to the end of the line in insert mode, and we'll move down the line. And now we got to look up the Bootstrap CSS. All right, so I'm going to bring up my browser here and just type Bootstrap, okay, Bootstrap 5. I'm going to go here where we see this introduction, Bootstrap 5, scroll down until we get the CSS and just click copy. Okay, let's move that out of the way. And then to paste into the terminal, I'm going to, instead of just Control V, it's Control Shift V, at least on a Chromebook. So Control Shift V, okay, that gives me the Bootstrap 5 CSS. Now, I also, when we started off this site, we made the just a style.css. So that's going to be my custom CSS, and I want to put that below the Bootstrap link. That way I can modify some of their CSS and it's going to take effect. If I put it above, it wouldn't work. Especially if they were conflicting. If it was something totally different to Bootstrap, it would work, but if I'm modifying something in Bootstrap, it's not going to work. Okay, so I'm going to mash J and K to get back to normal mode, and then just type GCC. Okay, that gives me the comment, and then using Emmet, I can type link :CSS, hit Control Y, comma, and that expands it, and that links the style CSS right there. Okay, so the head of the document is pretty well done. So let's move down here, and we also, for Bootstrap, want to include the JavaScript bundle for stuff like the menu. All right, so we're going to hit copy. And I want to make a note that this is the Bootstrap 5 JavaScript. So I'm going to do that, mash J and K, and then GCC to comment that out. And then I'm going to go here and Control Shift V. Okay. and that brings in the Bootstrap JavaScript. Now, I did create my own JavaScript file. We're not going to be using it for this tutorial, but if you want to include your own custom JavaScript, I would put it right above the closing body tag. So let's make a note. We'll just say custom JavaScript and comment that out. And then with Emmet, I can just do script : source, Control Y, and that expands that out. And then I'll just type script.js. Okay, so now we've got our basic template set up. Let's start working on the nav bar. So I'm going to go down here and we'll just type in a comment, begin nav bar. Okay, and let's go over to the Bootstrap documentation. And let's go to, I believe it's in components. We'll go to nav bar. Now we're going to take some of the stuff and we're going to go down, scroll down here, keep moving. And I'm going to take this one. I'm going to copy it. Okay, and then Control-Shift-V to paste that in. Okay, so I've pasted that in. I want to do something here with the spacing, so I'm going to move up to here. Nope, not do that. Go to normal mode, 0 to the start of the line, and we'll go down here and I'm going to hit Shift and the right bracket, and that's just going to move it over, just so I can keep my code organized. Okay, so we want to first fix our navbar. So with Vim, I can move over here and type DW to delete a word, then I insert, and I'm going to just type Algebra Superstar.com. Okay, now JK, that's going to move me back into normal mode. I can do J to go down. We're going to have 3 links here. None of these links are going to work. So what we want to do is, none of these links are going to work on the site. It's just a landing page just to have it look the way it looks. So you'll see in where it says href, you're just going to have the hashtag symbol. We're just going to keep that. Okay. So home is fine. Instead of features, I'm just going to do what I did was about, and then I'll go down here, and instead of pricing, I did contact. Okay, now this disabled part here, I want to get rid of that, so I'm going to go to the start of line. In normal mode, I just press 0, then V to get into visual mode, go here, Shift and 4, the $ to get to the end of the line, and then D to delete. So we've gotten rid of that. Okay, so, all right, so we're still in normal mode. I'm going to hit the colon and W to save it. And I'm going to open up my files, and we want to see how this looks. So this is in your Linux files. We'll go to Algebra Superstar, and we go here, right click, and just click View. Okay, and so we've got this, but in our thing here, we want a dark background, and we want this stuff moved to the right. Okay, so there's a couple things we can do to do that. Let's go back to our terminal, go back up here, and let's go to the end here. And instead of BG light, we want to delete this and insert BG dark, okay, for a dark background. Okay, let's see. Navbar light, I believe we can keep. Instead of container fluid, I'm going to delete this last part and just have container. Okay, and then going down here to where it's the UL class is navbar nav, I'm going to insert here and type ms auto. Okay, and we'll save it, and we don't want that. I don't need this anymore. Go up here and let's go over here and refresh. And okay, so that moved the text over, but we can't see any of the text. So we want to go up here. We also want to have this insert navbar dark. Okay, and let's save it and now take a look. Okay, so now we're starting to have the nav bar look like it's supposed to look. One thing I did include here was a learn more. Okay, so what I'm going to do to get that learn more call to action kind of thing here is I'm going to create another list item and nav link. Okay, so to do this quickly in Emmet, I can type .nav item, then a right bracket, because the nav link is going to be nested in that. So then .nav link. There's a couple other classes I want to add. I want to add a background of primary. That's going to give me that blue. And I also want to add a margin from the start of 3. That's going to space it out a little bit from the other stuff. Now to trigger Emmet, again, I'm going to do Control Y, comma, and that didn't work. Control Y, comma. Okay, there we go. And I messed up. Okay, and why did I mess up? Because it defaults, Emmet defaults to divs. So let's just do that again. So I'm going to go to visual mode and let's just delete that out and move over here again. We want to do li.nav item, then nest inside a.nav link. And then we're going to have the background of primary. That's going to give me the blue again. And then within there, MS, I believe I used MS3. Okay, MS3, that's going to give me some padding. So, all right. And, oops, that is, no, sorry. The nav link, I'm also having a class of active. That makes it pop a little bit. And then in the list item is where, whoops, let me undo that. The list item is where I'm including the background of primary and then the padding. Okay. Okay. So now Control Y, comma. Okay. Let's focus on the spacing a little bit here. Let's bring that down. Let's bring that down. We're just going to insert a hashtag here because it's not actually going to go anymore. And then we'll type learn more. Okay, and let's save that. And then let's see how that looks. Okay, so we've got our top menu, and that's going to conclude this part 1 here where we've constructed this top menu. In the next video, we're going to work on the hero section, and then we'll continue from there. If you like this video, please smash the like button as it really helps the channel, and make sure to subscribe. And thank you for watching. Have a great day.